powerless is like music to me.
The fire within me burns eternal, and now you shall as well.
You will not be spared. You will not be saved.
All of these comments were by the animatronics that I could remember that talked about one character being a killer. Immediately, we all knew who this was talking about. William Afton. In other words, the purple guy, Springtrap, and Scraptrap. Still a little weird how Springtrap and his future self are in the same place, but Ultimate Custom Night, well, we'll find out what it is. Now, at first, I thought the protagonist to Ultimate Custom Night was not William. Well, I do now, but at first I thought it was the older brother, who we originally thought was Michael. But then it was revealed that he was the FNAF 4 protagonist, so now he's been left without a name, so for now I'll just call him Edward. I thought of this because Jacko Chica makes remarks to making it only sound like there was one person accidentally killed. Not many. But after going through the voice lines, this is definitely talking about William. And through many lines, including from Night Marionette, or Night Marion, because Scott named him / her, / it doesn't really have a gender, it's 2018, very weirdly. But anyway, no. A lot of the souls, mainly the Nightmare animatronics, which, and funny enough, the mediocre melodies, mostly Mr. Hippo, give some of the biggest lore drops out of them all. The puppets in there too. I'd say the biggest ones would be the Puppet, Nightmare Freddy, Nightmare Fredbear, Nightmare, Jacko Chica, and Night Marion. And I would probably say Mr. Hippo, but I think that's more Scott talking about, to us, the fandom, kind of like how he did in FNAF 6. Where it said, we want to tie up for loose ends. That wasn't a game. That was Scott basically talking to us. But the mediocre melodies also have, each one of them have these weird, except for Mr. Hippo, funny enough, they all have these weird, one line where it's definitely Baby's voice actor, but it's not Baby herself. It's the same voice actor, you can tell. But it has this mysterious voice in the background, almost saying older things and repeating it. It's incredibly creepy. Now, not much. Most of the other animatronics are just silly, fun. Mainly, my personal favorites being Toy Freddy saying, "If I get jump scared, you get jump scared," and Rockstar Bonnie's, "I found my guitar, now reach for the stars as I plunge it through your heart." Honestly, those are just quick favorites of mine that I wanted to share. And then there's middle fingers from Scott, like Mangle, being both a boy and a girl. Like, you knew that was intentional. But back to the main issue. William's personal hell. After FNAF 6 ending, or true ending, Henry... Oh, yeah, if you don't know, Cassette Man in FNAF 6 was Henry, who was canon to the books, which I've unfortunately only been able to read the first one, and with the third one coming out, which I know nothing about, yeah, don't expect those to be popping up in any of these. Well, Henry said this.
Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole, so don't keep the devil waiting.
The darkest pit of hell, you say? You mean where Lucifer himself can make your own worst nightmares come to life? Oh, yes. We're not in the astral plane? No. We're not on Earth anymore. We're playing as William in the darkest, deepest, most fiery pit of hell. After all, it makes sense for, say, someone like Freddy to be there. But Jacko Chica, that's quite off-putting, considering would it be more makes sense to put Nightmare Chica, who technically is in the game, just for Miss Little Pest, Dee Dee. Get out of my room, Dee Dee. But there's another character, one that I think represents Mr. Satine. Or God, I'm honestly not sure, but he definitely represents a spirit of death. And that would be Old Man Consequences. Why do I say this? Well, if you put Old Man Consequences on 1, and you put him, and you catch his fish, you will be teleported to a special spot. Here, let me show you. Now, it does say leave the demons to his demons. This is a line we know about quite a lot, actually. But why do I say this is actually Satine? Well, it might be God also, or just, again, as I said, spirit of death. I'm honestly not too sure. It's because he's in the exact same wake. Now, if you speed up the audio clip very much, I think to about 1000%, you'll hear this. Now note, this is just what the person was interpreting it. Also, thank you to Zamasu, all capitals, for giving me this clip. Now, again, this isn't exactly what he's saying, but it does sound like I hate Mike, and even said Henry. Who else would be saying that but William? He is being tortured, not even day after day, second after precious second. And you ever hear the phrase, pick your poison? That's what William gets to do every single day. But why is this important? Well, Fnaf Ultimate Custom Night, despite mostly being a tribute on the surface, for the fans of the lore, we get to see William's punishment. What he deserves after what he has done. And I don't think those souls, not all of them, the core 4, they aren't actually there. But I know that isn't that puppet. That's Charlotte's spirit. She's come down personally just to torment him. while the others rest on Easy Street, they get to come down and torment old William whenever they want. 'Cause what he's done is unforgivable. As for why he has to face himself, well, besides being Springtrap being one of the main animatronics, so Scott kinda had to put him in. Again, like I said, FNAF Ultimate Custom Night is kinda mainly just one big fan game. It's just a love letter to the fandom. And kind of a middle finger to Darko and Markiplier and Gerard the Completionist, who have a habit of having to beat 50-20. I hope they do it. What? Oh my gosh. I wonder who's going to be the first to beat it out of those three. Yeah. But anyway, I digress. So in the end, Fnaf Ucn is one big hell. Why is it that? Because who else would deserve this? The only one who would come close is Elizabeth, or Baby, as we all know her to be. But even then, something tells me she wasn't in complete control. Something tells me that being inside the animatronic, the programming actually corrupted her mind. And yeah, that's it. So, I guess I'll end the video here. And to anyone who sees this, don't forget to separate theory, fact, and fiction. But just for someone who made me laugh with their comment, I'd like to give out a shout out to Harrison Schindenheider, who actually had a very funny comment that I will now show to you. Thank you, Harrison, for giving me quite the chuckle. But if that is true, well, I'm just gonna be a stinky stinkerson and just debunk this. As for Baby, well, we never really seen what happened to her inside. She only got grabbed. She didn't get ripped in half. Something tells me if she did, yeah, it would have been an anime trope, just spilling out the blood. As for Fredbear, I don't think it actually... I think it only crushed his skull. I don't think it actually, like, bit it to where blood would be gushing out. Either that, or just Scott didn't put it in. Considering we know he would. But if they were robots, well then... Skynet has already risen. Goodbye.